The Museum Island in the Berlin Mitte district. Many of these people have something in common. They are the next of kin of someone who is deceased. Some 250 billion euros is the amount of what we Germans bequeath and inherit every year. More than half of the estates consist of real estate, but also money and valuables such as jewelry are passed on. Mr. Thomas Emrich is the managing director of the Sossenkage branch of Erbenermittler Emrich, a successful German operation specialized in the search for missing heirs. Meanwhile, the team comprises of more than 100 staff, among them many historians. Complicated cases are introduced, tasks are assigned. Today's case will take the probate researchers more than 100 years back into the past. As you know, we've got this new big case that sounds quite interesting. We have got the deceased Alice Kuss, who was born on the President Lincoln, a ship. So, a birth on an ocean liner at the beginning of the 20th century. In this case, where should you get started with your search? In the case of the deceased Alice Kuss, the data available is very scarce indeed. The staffers get started with their research. They work down the phone lines of all seaports the President Lincoln stopped by at the time.
Hello, Mr. Miller. This is Fania Gese of Erbenermittler Emrich Probate Research. Наша компания занимается розыском наследников и...
Bon dia, Kirsten, mon Bruder, dein Böse Erben.
Mais on n'a aucune information sur le père, et donc si je m'adresse à vous, c'est tout ça.
The staffers are indeed successful managing to dig up the logbook of the President Lincoln.
So, jetzt haben wir hier die...
So we have now got the passenger list here. There she is. You were right.
Ja, du hast
Here
recht.
she is. That must be the mother,
Das muss die Mutter
Helene
sein.
Kuss.
Helene Kuss.
The Berlin Weissensee Cemetery, Europe's largest Jewish cemetery. At least this cemetery survived 2 world wars almost without damage. If we can't find a thing neither in the civil registry, nor in the church books, nor in personnel files, nor in any other written records, we are sometimes left with the only option of going to the cemetery and reading the stones in order to gather the information required for solving the case. After the 1935 Nuremberg racial laws, more and more Jews tried to get out of Germany. These Jews were waiting in front of a travel agent's on the Meineckestrasse in Berlin in 1939. Starting with 1945, several million people trying to escape the Red Army fled to Germany. This meant chaos, families torn apart, children without parents, people without personal belongings and documents, all of which makes the search of the probate researchers a difficult task. The search continues at the Berlin-Brandenburg Protestant Lutheran Central Archives. Historian Nicholas Lang has got a lead in his search because Helene Kuss, the presumed mother of the deceased Alice Kuss, had family in Berlin, possibly also somewhere in what today is Poland. The case may not be solved yet, but they're a giant step closer. Here we've got her, the Alice woman, born out of wedlock with her mother being Olga Abraham, who is from Minikovo in the Tuchel district. But she is resident at Kuss's address, and here we've also got Helene Kuss as godmother. As a matter of fact, the family tree leads back into what was at the time West Prussia.
Unsere polnischen
Our
Mitarbeiter
Polish
haben
members of staff have discovered a total of 14 siblings of the deceased mother, all hailing from the one region in West Prussia, which we found, thank God, due to the deceased baptism. This is how we have eventually dug up more than 40 current heirs. They are scattered around all parts of Germany, Poland, Canada, and the United
überall
States.
verteilt in Deutschland, Polen und Kanada und den USA.
Following the successful research, the Documentation Division starts its work. The existence and entitlement of each individual person must be documented in a very painstaking way. In the Kuss case, documentation took nearly an entire year. More than 100 documents had to be obtained, part of them from abroad. The probate court will have to be able to retrace the complete family tree down to the tiniest detail. Only after all of the documents have passed the court scrutiny, a certificate of inheritance may be issued. Only then the estate may be distributed to persons who might never have thought of becoming heirs.
Die erste
The
Reaktion
first reaction is, of course, surprise, and then, of course, also joy about the unexpected bonanza which does come in, even if part of it is just a 4-digit amount. But sometimes it goes up to some 6- or 7-digit individual amounts distributed to a single heir.
kommen kann.
The result of the work of the Erbenermittlung Emmerich Group, an ever-growing number of successfully closed cases, and many happy heirs.